What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TCG Madness, and today we're taking a look at the final hero from Axiom. This will be the updated version of Subhash and Marmo for Alter TCG. This is another deck build that I did, and if you guys want to just go ahead and pause your screen right now, take a good look at the deck, go for it. Begin this video, we'll go over the hero real quick, we'll go over all the cards in the deck and why I put it in there, and then we're going to take a look at the stats like we always do. And at the end of the video, if you guys want to comment, maybe you guys have a better idea for this deck or whatever. I do see a couple of you guys constantly telling me, like, hey, none of this really matters, it's just for theory, let's see this against top tier decks, blah blah blah, gameplay footage, all that good stuff. And while yes, that is absolutely true, and I make no mistake about that, if you're new here and this is the first time you're ever seeing my channel, because I know, like, with Alter TCG being a growing game, a lot of people may be seeing this channel for the first time, may not be familiar with how I kind of do things. I don't build decks to be ultra competitive. That's just not me. I never entered tournaments. I build decks because they're a lot of fun to do this, and B, the reason why I don't show gameplay footage is up until very recently, I was on vacation. When I came back, to my surprise, the market is now officially open. So at some point, yes, I will be bringing you guys some gameplay footage. I'll be able to actually buy the cards that I'm missing. But again, if this is the first time you're seeing my channel, just know that that's who I am. I'm not ultra competitive. I build decks because they're fun, and this is all, yes, in theory. So if that's not something that's for you, my apologies, I just won't be the channel for you. I make no mistake about that whatsoever. There are lots of other great channels out there, and if you want my recommendations, I will gladly send you their way. I also have channels that I recommend that are also doing amazing work with Alter TCG and the content and actually showing you guys gameplay. I tried EX Altered, it sucks, I don't like it. I like Board Game Arena, but up until very recently, the market was not open, so I was missing a lot of cards. I live in the US. Getting booster boxes of Alter TCG, very hard to do. Especially because I have absolutely no locals that carry Alter TCG, so everything has to be via eBay, come over to me, that kind of stuff, and you can imagine that gets very expensive. With the market not being open, hopefully now I can start filling out the decks with the cards that I'm missing with my decks, and we'll actually be able to bring you guys some gameplay. So again, that's why I said I build these decks. That's why if you want to pause it, if you want to make your recommendations, put it down below in the comment section. And again, if for no other reason, just please hit that like button. If you're new, consider hitting that subscribe button as well. Just know that that's what you're getting into. I make zero mistakes about that. Again, there are amazing channels out there. I will recommend all of them to you guys on, who does actual gameplay footage and stuff like that, and build decks as well. So if I'm not your cup of tea, no problem. Got absolutely no problem with that. I'm just trying to fill out a void and have some fun with this, because in the end, that's pretty much my main focus. I like building jankier decks. I like having some fun with it. Not here to build competitively and go like that kind of route. I try to do at least strong decks, like on a power level of like 6 or 7. I have a play group that we do. That's just where I'm coming from. Just know that, because I see a couple of people constantly commenting that, and I'm like, it's just who I am, and you might be new here. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go over the hero. We got ourselves Subhash and Marmo, and you guys can now see, you guys can buy these cards. So pretty cool that we finally have this available to us. Love that. If you're not familiar with this Axiom hero, pretty much at noon, pay 1 and put a card from your hand to the reserve to create a Brass Bug 2/2/2 robot token in target expedition. I like the fact that we can basically just pay 1 to take a card from your hand, put it to the reserve, and the bonus right there is in target expedition, not in your hero or not in your companion. You have to target it. So really nice there. So pretty much the theme of this one, as you guys says right here at the top, more tokens, please. I pretty much just build a very, very, very big tokeny deck. So with that being said, let's go ahead and go over the characters. First up, we have Vishvakarma. It's a 4/4 for 2 across the board. The next permanent you play this afternoon costs 3 less. I love this card right here because we have to play it out of our hand or the reserve to get a permanent on the board for 3 less mana. And you guys can see we have quite a lot of permanents. We have 11 total, so pretty good there. Of course, we're building tokens, so I do like this card in here. I think this card needs a little bit of more love. I do see a lot in other decks that are built and stuff like that. A lot of people just don't put this card in the deck. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe this card isn't that good as I think it is. It's John d'Arc, 5/5, out of faction, rare, 3 across the board. When I leave the expedition zone, create a Brass Bug robot token each of your expeditions. That's both hero and companion, so pretty good there. The big body here, we have Ganesha, 6/6/4 across the board. For each permanent you control, you may activate those abilities. So I do like this because we have pretty much every permanent we play has that ability on there. So really, really nice there. Next up, we have the Machine and Ice. 2 copies of this card for a 1/3 for a 5/3/5. I know what you're thinking. Those are some damn good stats. Well, there's always a caveat to that. When I go to the reserve from anywhere, exhaust me. When you play this card out of your hand, send me to the reserve. So when this card goes to, if you play this thing anywhere, it's going to go basically to the reserve, right? You play it out of your hand, goes to the reserve. So basically what you have to do is get this card to your reserve, then you can play that 3. so then you can get it out, basically. It's a really nice card. Definitely 2 copies of this one. If you want to do 3, totally open to that ability as well. I just think 3 probably clogs this too much in your hand. It is a good turn 1 play though, right? Play it, go to the reserve, and then eventually you get to, after another turn, go around, because it is gonna exhaust when it untap. Excuse me. Then you'll be able to play it. So really nice card. Just 2 copies of that one. The really good 1-turn play is this guy right here, Axiom Salvager. For a 1/2, 1 across the board. When you play this card out of your reserve, resupply. Resupplying, very good for Axiom. Definitely something you need. Ada Lovelace is the next card here, if it ever decides to show up on my screen. It does not. Oh, I think it was just about to. There we go. Ada Lovelace, 3 copies of this regular version for a 2/2 for a 1/3/1. When you play this card out of your reserve, you may put a card from your hand in the reserve. If it's a permanent, draw a card. So I like this card a lot here because, again, we do have a lot of permanents. So that'll give you the ability to do some drawing right there. Not a lot of cards allow you to do that. Ada Lovelace does accomplish that. But if you don't have a permanent, another good target to, pretty much put from your hand to reserve is this card. It's Copiella. 3 copies, 2/2, 2/2/0. When I go to the reserve from your hand, you may play me for free and I gain a sleep. So pretty much, this is another good copy for our target for Ada Lovelace. Go to the reserve, then eventually you get to play for free. It is going to be a sleep, so you won't get it for that go around, but still, nice little way to cheat out a little 2-drop cost right there. Next up, we have 3 copies of the regular version. Tinkerbell, 3/3 for a 1/3/3. When you play this out of your reserve, Sabotage. Sabotage, very underrated ability with a lot of cards, especially from this new set, basically manipulating that reserve. Sabotage has definitely seen an increase lately. Definitely seems like pretty much, that your opponent will fill up that reserve pretty easily. So anytime you can pretty much get rid of a very much of an annoying pest with Sabotage, very good. And last but not least, we have the rare version of the Foundry Armor, 3/3, 2 across the board. When you play out of your hand or your reserve, create a Brass Bug robot token in target expedition. So that's it for the characters. For the spells, we don't have a whole lot. We have 1 copy of Frozen Delivery. This basically has a cooldown. It also says resupply at the top card of your deck in the reserve. We also have 1 copy of Mechanical Training for a 1/2. Activate the abilities of target permanents you control. This is pretty much Ganesh, just on a very cheaper cost with no abilities whatsoever. Just 1 copy of this one. You do not need this brick in your hand, so just 1 copy. It does come into clutch every now and then, but that's why I just put 1 copy in there. And of course, for removal, 3 copies of Keylon Burst, 3/3, send to reserve target character with a hand cost of 4 or less, or discard target permanent with a hand cost of 4 or less. Those are the spells. Now, for the meat and potato of this deck, it's actually not the characters, to be honest with you. To me, it's all about these permanents. So the first permanent that I decided to add was, I think, the best permanent in Axiom. I still think it's the Brass Bug Hive, the rare version. 3 copies, 6/6, and then of course it has, when you play this card, immediately create a Brass Bug robot token in target expedition. At noon, create another one. When a robot joins your expedition, it gains a boost. You guys maybe also remember too, the Machine and Ice, also a robot, so that will also gain that boost. The only thing I'm missing in this deck was O-Gun, but I thought because we're not making, I don't know. I thought maybe replace O-Gun with Jeanne d'Arc. You guys can let me know if you guys think that. I was wondering that. It probably would have definitely helped out the hand cost, reserve cost, by removing Jeanne d'Arc and putting like an out of faction rare O-Gun who also does the same thing. So you guys let me know if you guys think that should be something that we swap out. Next up for the permanents, we have Haven, Bravos, Bastion. 3 copies, 2/2. When you play it, resupply. The next character you play from your reserve this turn gains a boost. So I like that because we have a lot of cards that also have, when you play out of your reserve, gain some additional whatever, resupply, create this. So gaining a boost is also pretty significant. And next up, we have 3 copies of Icebound Hollow, 3/3. Now, these cards right here, I've always found it very difficult to find somewhere where they go in these decks. I don't think these are very much fully playable just yet, but I do think they're still pretty good. And the stats for this deck was pretty weak, so I wanted something to kind of boost up these stats. I think maybe 3 copies of this might be a little too much. Again, you guys can let me know down below in the comment section. The 3/3, when a card goes from your deck or hand to the reserve, gain a trial counter. That right there, pretty easy to do in this deck. And of course, when you gain your 3rd, create a Shade 5/5 Illusion Dragon token in target expedition, then ready all cards in your reserve. We don't really care about the last ability. We just care about making these dragons right here. And with this deck, not that difficult. And last but not least, of course, just for the sake of making more tokens, Brass Bug Hub. 3/3, gain 3 Keylon counters at noon. May pay 1 and spend 1 of my Keylon counters to create Brass Bug tokens in Target Expedition. That is it for the deck. That's a pretty cool looking deck right there, I think. Again, I think maybe the only thing I would probably do a little bit differently, maybe Jeanne d'Arc for Ogun, maybe even Ganesh for Ogun, something like that might actually work. You guys, again, let me know how you feel about this deck down below in the comment section. Of course, I don't have any type of uniques for this deck, so I couldn't slide that in there. Of course, I don't know what your unique situation looks like. For the stats, pretty weak stats though, but that's okay because we have ways to basically boost this up. That's why the tokens come in play. Because if you're dropping tokens along with the cards that you have, those stats should look pretty differently. But the way they look right now, 49 in the forest, 57 in the mountain, 49 in the ocean. Heavy for the hand cost on the 3s, and then pretty good on the 2s. And then for the reserve, same thing, heavy on the 3s and the 2s. 5 spells, 11 permanents, 23 characters, and that's going to do it for this deck. Again, please comment down below if there's something you would change about this deck. What would you change? Playing this type of deck with my play group, it's definitely a little bit janky, a little bit wonky. Definitely need to figure out some different things, different methods for this one. But again, the beauty of now, with this market open, I can finally buy the cards that I'm missing. So hopefully here in the near future, I will be able to finally be able to play these decks on Board Game Arena and just see how it works and see if it's just fun, janky, and can I win some games with it. That's really all I care about. If you're looking for the more competitive stuff, we'll definitely send you that direction. With that being said, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I'll see you guys next time.